about another set of transfers. A big link today, Igal. Arsenal looking to potentially seal a deal and get ahead of Chelsea and Liverpool for Dean Huijsen, who was heavily linked to Real Madrid, but in recent weeks, it does seem that it's plausible he stays in the Premier League. Is that someone you want your club, Arsenal, to focus on and go and get?
Obviously, I want Arsenal to first go and get a forward and get that sorted before we get anything else done. But Dean Huijsen would be good squad depth. I don't think he starts for Arsenal. And I don't know if he would come into Arsenal and overtake Gabriel or Saliba, which I don't think he's better than. So he would be coming in to be squad depth with Kivior's recent arrival and improved in form. If we do sell Kivior and we get a good fee for him, he'd be really good squad depth and he'd definitely benefit us and probably get a lot of game time in the cups and give us more rotation and options in that back line, which we haven't had recently. Now Kivior's performances recently maybe interest the club to keep in Kivior, and that might change the situation with Dean Huijsen. But if I'm similar to what I said with Cunha, to be 100% honest, I don't think Arsenal might not be the best option for Dean if I'm looking at it from his perspective. From Arsenal perspective, I also don't think going and investing 50 million on a backup center back right now should be our first priority. We should go and get a forward first, go and get a left winger first, and then if we have money left over and he's still about, then go and get him. But I'm not spending 50 million on a centre back.
You're the worst option for him.
Yeah, if we want to talk about bad career moves, that would be one.
With Gabriel and Saliba there, development for his career, it's a bad move.
Yeah, but he could be your centre
back
for
Arsenal.
But Henry, he's not going to stay there for 10 years, though. He's gagging. He is gagging.
Gabriel and Saliba are going to be there in 3 years.
No, but Henry, it's not about whether Gabriel or Saliba are going to be there. That man is gagging for a move to Real Madrid within the next 5 years. He's desperate for it. So if you're signing Huijsen now, you're signing him on the basis that we'll get 2 years development, maybe 2 years of him at the top level, and then we're selling to Real Madrid. It's not
why Chelsea's his perfect transfer.
Or Arsenal could end up getting rid of maybe Gabriel. I don't see us getting rid of Saliba. But
Saliba's gone to Madrid as soon as that deal comes through. You know it.
That would be the only thing.
You know it.
No, I honestly don't think
he's never saying no to Madrid.
I don't think Saliba's going anywhere at this moment in time for 2 years. So I agree.
When's his contract run out?
2 years, but then an option for a third. But I think both have to agree on the third option. But at this moment,
so we'll do 2 more years, and then it'll be a case if we get to that summer, it'll be he only wants Madrid, so Arsenal might have to sell him if they want any money.
You know better than anybody with Trent.
Right, I do. That's why I'm saying it.
So when it comes down to it, I don't disagree with you guys. Real Madrid come knocking, most people are going to end up going. But at this moment in time, Arsenal in a strong position. Real Madrid themselves said they can't get him this summer. They know they probably are going to struggle to get him away from us next summer. If they're going to get him, they're going to have to get him in 2027 on a free.
Okay, Arsenal would have to win 16 more Champions League to be a better option than Real Madrid. 16 more, and it's taking you this long to get to the semi-final again.
Okay, let me.
You haven't got a chance.
Let me stop you right there. Are Chelsea a better option than Man United right now?
Yeah. What for Huijsen? Yeah.
Okay, so you have less Champions than them. So your point is irrelevant.
No, I wasn't making the point that you were. You were saying that he'll stay at Arsenal because you're in a good position instead of going to Real Madrid.
Okay, is Everton a better option than Chelsea? Because Everton have more league titles than you. This is the irrelevant point that you made. That's what I'm saying.
Not Premier League titles, they don't. Yeah, not in Dean Huijsen's life, they don't.
They've got more overall league titles.
They do.
They have more titles than league titles than you. So my point is, people don't decide their future based on what the teams won in their past. They decide what they're based on now. So all this stuff about trophies, it's cute, but it's not the main reason why people like going to clubs.
So you honestly think, Miguel, that if Real Madrid come in a year's time, the Real Madrid, he stays and signs a new contract with Arsenal?
I think people underestimate the situation that we currently are in. Arsenal are a forward line.
I've just won the Premier League, and my homegrown talent wants to do one.
1 second. This is about Dean Huijsen, and you guys turned it into a Saliba topic. It's hilarious.
Who's Dean Huijsen?
Rasmus's long lost cousin.
Rasmus's brother.
Flashback signals another Huijsen joining United. Then
there's more chance, by the way, of Huijsen starting at Chelsea than there is at United as well.
I think Chelsea's the perfect move.
Yeah. Chelsea's the best move. I agree. And
I disagree. I think we're the best move.
When it comes to Liverpool,
no chance,
when it comes to Liverpool, Real Madrid,
we've got the uncertainty of
not this summer.
Canate.
You're not. Not this summer. You're not.
The thing is, Dan,
next summer maybe, but I don't think Huijsen can afford.
He's also young. He's also young.
No, but
he's only 20.
We are right there, ready with. We're more ready to challenge for top honours than you are. That's a stone cold fact.
Yeah,
and
100%.
The difference that we've got is we have this uncertainty.
But is Dean Huijsen ready to go and challenge for top honours when he's in a mid-table Bournemouth side?
I think you underestimate you underestimate how many minutes Dean Huijsen would actually play for Liverpool if he was to join.
It's not guaranteed that he's going to be starting every single game. Whereas I think if he goes to Chelsea, I think he's got a really, really good chance.
I think it's a case of, would you take 1,500 to 2,000 minutes in Champions League, challenging for title of Premier League, etc., or would you take 3,000 minutes in a top 4 battle? I think Huijsen at this point sits there and goes, you know what? If I go to Liverpool for a year and I do rotation minutes, I'll still play a lot because Canate loves an injury. Van Dijk needs to start getting rested if he wants to prolong his career. I'll still play a lot. And then if Canate goes PSG, once his contract's up, I'm ready to start. Or it's a case of I go to Chelsea, I'm going to start straight away, but that team is still 2-3 years away from being in the position where Liverpool's is right now.
Yes, but then Madrid come calling after that period of time, and he'll have his move. He'd get more minutes going to Real Madrid this summer than he would going to Liverpool.
Disagree.
Tom, do you think he
would? He 100% would, because we all know Madrid have got issues with their defence at the moment.
Unless Madrid got Alonso.
Do you think Virgil just signed that extension and then he'll be like,
he played ahead of Canate? You missed that.
Not a chance.
Dan, Canate has gone through. This is the first season in Canate's career that he's played 20 league games. I can't sit there and go next season. You know what? Even Canate's going to do another 35 for me. No, Huijsen will play at least 15 in the league next season. That's not including Champions League. And I just think if he's got that guaranteed step up to where, because look, I'm going to be honest, I think we fucked it with Canate as well. I think we fucked ourselves
at Bournemouth than he would be going to Liverpool, Tom.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not a chance.
Yeah, he would.
Not a chance.
His development,
no chance.
He would be better staying at Bournemouth, playing every single game, coming up against the best strikers in the Premier League, being challenged week in, week out. He would have
a very big point, though, Dan. Let me add something
than he would at Liverpool.
Let me add to this argument. I think you're missing a very big point. Yes, of course, he'll get more minutes at Bournemouth because no one gets ahead of him. First of all, I do agree with him. I think if I had to pick one of the two for him, if I'm his agent and I could get him the best move possible away from money, obviously, I'd put him in Liverpool over Madrid. Number one, Madrid already have a young center back that they're developing right now next to Rudiger in Asensio. So they already have a young project that they're working on. So it's kind of not a good idea to work on two young projects at the same time. Secondly, Liverpool, as you mentioned and Tom mentioned, Canate, as good as a defender he is highly unreliable because of injuries. So he is someone who's in and out of the team. Yes, I think he's a very good defender, but it would be foolish if you think he's going to give you 30 plus games in the league when you've seen his track history. Now, here's the last part. You talked about his development playing in Bournemouth. I think you missed a very big point. Think about his development playing next to Van Dijk, training with Van Dijk, being around. Imagine being nurtured by Van Dijk over the next 2 years as his successor, because let's be honest, I think this is probably, I think even Tom would agree with that. It's probably his last contract. What'd you say then?
He'll end the season with 5 Prem starts.
He won't.
5 is crazy.
Okay, 10 at an absolute push then. Because there's no way Van Dijk or Canate, unless injury happens, are sacrificed.
That will happen with Canate.
He may well do, by the way. And I hear them, if we're going to talk about hypothetical injuries, then fine. But I think when you're looking at it as a player going somewhere, you're going to go, well, hang on, they've got those two players, and if they don't get injured, my game's over.
I think Chelsea fits on another. I think Chelsea fits on another level. Sorry, Tom. I think Chelsea fits on another level. That the one thing about anyone buying him, if he gets enough game time, is whatever you buy him for now, you're probably selling him for a profit in 2 years' time to Real Madrid. That's the benefit. That seems to really suit Chelsea's model. It seems to really suit their model of, well, we can bring him in, we can develop him, we can get the benefits of him now. And should Real Madrid still want him, and should they be willing to pay a top rate, we make our profit, which is, okay, I'm only going by what's publicized here, Dan, is a big part of your business model, where I feel that Arsenal and especially Liverpool, that's not really what they want to do. I think if they want to buy someone, I think they want a player that genuinely will commit at least the next 4 or 5 years of their career to being at the club. So I think this is where everyone's got to be careful with signing him, is when he signs, what is that desire like to join Real Madrid, and how quickly would his head be turned? Like Saliba's 24. If he wants to go at the end of next season or the end of the season after, how many years would he have been an Arsenal player, including the 2 years on loan? What, 5, 6, 7 years? That's a considerable amount of time. To sign someone who wants to move in the next 2, yes, you'll make some money, but at the same time, it leaves a hole in your team. And I would almost get it if Arsenal were looking at him as the Saliba replacement. But then you're sort of saying that Saliba might not go himself. So then you don't need a Saliba replacement, do you? Not right now. Like maybe it's too early to. I mean, how old's Gabriel? What, 28?
27, 28. 26.
Yeah.
26. So even that, I'm not saying you don't. I mean, Kiwior's a good backup. Dean Helson's too good to be a backup at this point. I think he's too developed already. He's already a first team player. I don't think he can step backwards in that way. I really do think Chelsea would be the best option for him. The most amount of game time and development, and a team that would probably be willing to sell him in 2 years' time for a profit, where I don't think Arsenal and Liverpool would at that particular point. But yeah,
Terry, you know,
just one more thing. We're factoring in Chelsea getting Champions League football, of course. If Chelsea get Champions League football, you're
I'm not. I think with or without Champions League football, it's a step up in his career.
Are you guys not surprised that Man City aren't going in? Looking at the fact that Stones will be leaving.
Their load in January, bro.
They are going to have a massive clear.
Man City bought 2 defenders in January.
Yeah, they've already bought 2 kids, haven't they?
Yeah, but you know what Guardiola's like? One of them's going to play fullback.
No, you know what Man City's going to do? Man City trust their scouts a lot better than a lot of our clubs. They're going to go and invest on younger, cheaper.
I think Guardiola's going to move centrally as well. I think they're going to look at like a Kirkez or a left back or someone on those lines. Maybe not Kirk.
Maybe only left back.
Yeah, maybe not Kirkez, but someone like that. Because
Tyreek Mitchell's on a free.
Guardiola's going to move.
Stop trying to sell me Pedro Porro, Henry. Please stop trying to sell me Pedro Porro. I'm never going to say yes to him.
These 2 are in a show. He tries to give him Pedro Porro, bro. No one wants Pedro.
Just tries to get. Yeah, no one wants
one of the best well-run clubs, and if they wanted him, they would have already looked at him by now.
Who?
Man City.
But want who?
If they wanted Dean, they would have.
Yeah, I mean, but they might have done it. These moves come out. I mean, this time last year, Man United weren't linked to Lenny Yoro, and then bang, we went and took him off Real Madrid, showed our power, showed our levels. Do you know what I mean? And took him, and it's what happens sometimes. This year said, I don't know where this come from, but it says Spurs were better than Arsenal for years, but they were never more attractive than Arsenal. Stop with recency bias. We've seen how teams turn things around in a year. And all your opinions will change. I agree a lot. I know this is more based on Man United. I just feel the transfer window is dependent. But if we do get Delapse, if we get Cunhas, if we add that kind of quality, there'll be a few youngsters that come through. There's this, I think he's Argentinian, some young kid who's 30-odd million pound release clause we're meant to be activating. I know nothing about him, but he could be really good. There'll be a few signings like that, there's no doubt. But if we genuinely have a good window, we will be such. And for me, technical flaws got to go up, yes, but it's a physical element. We have been a different team in Europe compared to the Prem, and I loved how honest the manager was.
I'd love for us to sign him just to see Terry try to interrupt his name.
Yeah, fuck that, mate. That'll give me a stroke. Like I've looked at it already.
Is it Mastuano or something like that?
He'd be Frank to Terry. He'd just be Frank. Oh man, Frank.
Bro, it's like there's like Mustantuno or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Is that you're right? He doesn't look 17, by the way. He looks 27.
I thought he was a grown ass man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, that's also when it comes to youngsters. There's youngsters and there's youngsters. 1, how many games have they played? 2, what are their bodies like? And again, no one has to say pause when we are not insecure. We are not insecure men. It's physically, what do they look like? And yeah, he does. When I saw 17, he does look like a geezer. There's no doubt about that.
Do you think Dean Howson looks like a geezer yet, or do you think he still looks like he's got years to go?
He looks 18, bro. He looks
in the face, he looks young. In the face, he looks young, but physically, he's a big bloke. He's got a little bit more.
Apparently,
he's got a little bit more to fill out, but yeah, a little scrawny. But Yoro's like that, isn't he? I think Yoro's going to fill out as he gets a bit older. Yeah. Going to fill out a little bit.
Clubs want to buy those types of defenders, though, those Huijsens and those Yoros, because the moment they get that bit of beef on them, they become unstoppable because they can read the game dead early. They're very good on the ball. You can get that physicality about you. The moment you've got that, you're the complete package, and you're all of a sudden a 100 million quid defender.
You know what it's similar to, Tom? To take away the football for a second. You know how like in basketball they draft a player and then in 3 years they jack up.
Yeah,
like Anthony Edwards and Jason Tatum. You look at them; they were kids.
If Wembanyama all of a sudden gets a bit of muscle on him, oh my god,
that's a great one. I mean, that one's a little bit different because the guy's like 7'4". Like he doesn't even need 7'4". A 7'4" frame is gonna take years.
Yeah, he's not a ridiculous height, but if he all of a sudden had a bit on him and he could bully people in the post, it's a bra.
I hear that. The other